Damn, nigga, it's been a while. I know. Guys, it's been a while, but I had to talk about this fight, especially since it's tonight. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. I had to catch up on a lot of things because I've been watching what the hell Deontay Wilder has been saying for the past few weeks, or Tyson Fury. I've been watching none of those, the build up, whatever they do, those shows where they show fighters. You know what I'm talking about, the 24/7s, whatever, those shows. I haven't watched none of those shows. I just watched a few recent interviews, and of course, Deontay Wilder has been talking about race, bringing up race. He's been doing that for over since last year. Deontay Wilder always does that. He brings up race, tries to make it controversy, tries to have people, talking about that, when it really has nothing to do with this fight. Now, when it comes to this, the whole thing about Wilder versus Fury has always been that, Fury wasn't ready. Fury isn't ready. Fury's not ready. He took off a very long layoff. He came back. He didn't prepare himself. But Deontay Wilder, at least to me, it seems like he's been getting very annoyed, or at least Fury has been getting under his skin and has been just annoying him. But then again, that might just be a plot for Deontay Wilder. Maybe Deontay Wilder wants people to believe that Fury is under his skin, because when you look at Deontay Wilder and you see his recent interviews, he's upset about some of the things that Fury has said. He just seems annoyed by Fury, and it makes the impression, or it gives the impression or the illusion that Tyson Fury has gotten under his skin. And because Tyson Fury has gotten under his skin, he's going to fight Tyson Fury very wild. Deontay Wilder's already a wild fighter. So now that he's going into this fight emotional with Tyson Fury, he's going to make a mistake. And because of this, it's actually going to backfire against them. And because of Tyson Fury's, skill set, he's going to be able to take advantage of this and possibly beat Deontay Wilder via decision. At least that's what some people are saying, that, this Tyson Fury is getting under Deontay Wilder's skin. And he's emotional, and he's going to fight this fight emotionally. And obviously, when you fight emotional, you don't really stick to your game plan. And they're saying this might affect Deontay Wilder's performance. That might be true. That might be true. And if Deontay Wilder fights this fight, if he really is, angry at Tyson Fury, if Tyson Fury really has gotten into Deontay Wilder's mind, because Tyson Fury is a guy who, his thing is to beat the fighter before he fights the fighter in the ring, right? Talk a lot of shit, get under the fighter's skin. Every opponent Tyson Fury has fought, he has basically made them, or at least he's tried to talk a lot of smack about them. He did it to Vladimir Klitschko. He did it to every fighter. Some people say that's why he beat Vladimir Klitschko, and some people are saying this is why he might beat somebody like Deontay Wilder. When it comes to me, it's all about styles. I think styles make fights, and I think when it came to Klitschko is a professional fighter who had 20 plus years experience as a fighter, right? As a professional fighter. That wasn't going to get under Klitschko's skin. The reason he lost against Tyson Fury was because the styles, the way Tyson Fury fought, is what gave Vladimir Klitschko issues, right? So when it comes to this, I think it's more about that. It's more about the styles. When I'm looking at Wilder, I get the impression that maybe he is a little bit annoyed by Tyson Fury, but I don't think that he is. I don't think that it's 100% that. I don't think that it's 100% that he is basically fighting this fight emotionally because he doesn't like Tyson Fury. I think he's just, making it look like he's basically. I think he's making it seem like he is fighting Tyson Fury. I think he's making it look to the fans and to the boxing public like or he wants to make it look like he's going into this fight basically angry at Tyson Fury to make Tyson Fury more relaxed. But I think Deontay Wilder is a smart fighter when it comes to being able to land his punches. When it comes to this fight, I think this fight is going to go basically. I told you this in the past months ago. I think this fight is going to go very cautiously. I think Tyson Fury is a smart fighter. I've never seen Tyson Fury fight dumb, unless he's fighting a very low level fighter, like the last two guys he fought, or at least the first guy he fought when he made his comeback. He was joking in there, but Tyson Fury is. I've always looked at him as a very intelligent fighter. Now, he's not a big puncher. A lot of people think he's dull, boring, but he's like a pure boxer, right? He's a guy who studies boxing. I've seen him talk about past fighters. Guys like Larry Holmes. Floyd. He thinks he's Floyd Mayweather Jr., the heavyweight version of Mayweather. I think Tyson Fury knows that in order to beat someone like Deontay Wilder, you have to take his right hand away from him. And I think he knows that if he just stood right in front of Deontay Wilder with no head movement and he banged it out against him toe to toe, I think he knows that Deontay Wilder would land his right hand on him. And I think he knows that he doesn't have the best chin, and therefore he would most likely get knocked out, dropped, or seriously hurt, right? I think Tyson Fury knows this, so I think you're going to see Tyson Fury fight this fight cautiously and intelligently. I know he says he's going to knock out Deontay Wilder. Most people don't believe this just because Tyson Fury isn't really known as a massive puncher, right? When you look at Tyson Fury, he's not really known for being a guy who's a big puncher. But when it comes to, so that's why most people don't think it's going to happen. I personally don't think. I'll be surprised if he knocks out Deontay Wilder. But I think you're going to see Tyson Fury go very cautiously in this fight because Tyson Fury is not dumb. He knows that Deontay Wilder is a guy that depends on his opponent. It makes it easy for him if his opponent is right in the pocket with him. So he's not going to be doing that. I think you're going to see Tyson Fury be very serious, especially in the first 5 rounds, because I know he tends to joke around, but I think he might do that once he feels comfortable, once he sees that he's able to that he basically got Deontay Wilder figured out. But I think in the first few rounds, I think you're going to see him very serious, not joking around, not cracking up, and basically moving. I don't think you're going to be seeing him standing in front of Wilder. I think you're going to be seeing him moving. And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Deontay Wilder's punching output go very low. I don't think you're going to be seeing Deontay Wilder throw a lot of punches. Deontay Wilder tends to not throw a lot of punches when he's in there with someone who's moving or throwing a jab in his face. He just doesn't. He has his hands up and he tries to block the punches and he tries to time his right hand. That's what he's going to do. So you're going to see him just throwing his right hand because, again, I think Fury is going to be the one moving. And I think you're going to see Wilder being the aggressor. But he's not going to be letting his hands go a lot. Right? The big question in this fight is what happens when Deontay Wilder lands his right hand on Tyson Fury, right? What happens if he manages to inevitably land his right hand? Most people believe is going to be a knockout win for Deontay Wilder. Now, I've seen some people say that Deontay Wilder is going to knock out Tyson Fury in the first round because of his inactivity. I don't think that's going to happen. I think this fight's going to go longer than 5 rounds. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go the distance. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But what I am saying is I don't think it's going to end in the first round. The only way it will end in the first round is if Tyson Fury decides to just stand in front of Deontay Wilder with his hands below his waist and then give Wilder the opportunity to knock him out. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Tyson Fury is going to be on the move, on the back foot, and he's going to try to confuse Wilder. He's going to have him He's going to have him basically, because Wilder's a guy, he doesn't like to let his hands go if he thinks he's going to be countered. Against Gerard Washington, that's why he gave away those the first 4 rounds in that fight, because Gerard Washington was like fainting, like he was going to knock out or counter Wilder. Wilder doesn't like that, so he wasn't letting his hands go. So, like I said, I think where this is going to change this fight would probably be in the second half of the fight, when Tyson Fury starts losing energy, because he's gonna have to be on his toes for the against Deontay Wilder. He's gonna have to be on his toes the whole fight, and I think because of the fact that he was out of shape, and his other past, the way he's been abusing his body, I think he's going to eventually start feeling it. His hands are going to feel heavier. He's going to start gassing out, and eventually that's going to lead to Deontay Wilder to land his right hand on Tyson Fury's chin. And the big question is, what happens when he lands his right hand? I said this in the past as well. I won't be surprised if Deontay Wilder is losing the fight at the time of the stoppage. Like, I won't be surprised if it's round 7, Deontay Wilder lands his right hand, and down goes Fury, and he gets up, and he's on, wobbly legs, queer street. Deontay Wilder goes for broke, stop, and the referee ends the fight, and he wins. But in the scorecards, he was losing the fight, because, like I said, that's the what tends to happen to Deontay Wilder. He tends to lose or give away rounds against more talented fighters, but he always eventually is able to land his own right hand on his opponent, and he ends up winning. So again, I've always said this since day one. I think Fury is a better talent in terms of like just what he has in his toolbox, what he's able to do, right, in the ring. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, I think he's way more athletic than Fury. I think he's a way bigger puncher, but I don't think he has as much tools as Fury has. But again, with Deontay Wilder, or with boxing in general, especially the heavyweight division, even if a guy is a better talent than you, that doesn't mean you're going to lose, right? If you're a bigger puncher and you manage to land your power punch on a fighter who's better than you, you're going to knock him out. Like I said, look at him against Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was a better talent than Wilder, but Wilder still managed to land his right hand and beat him, right? So this is the same scenario with Tyson Fury. I don't think Deontay Wilder is going to be afraid of Tyson Fury's what Tyson Fury has to offer, because Tyson Fury is not a big puncher. So I think because of this, you're going to see him be a little bit, I do think he's going to be not letting his hands go a lot like people. I think people expect him to be Mike Tyson and just walk down Fury. I don't think he's going to do that, but I think because he knows Tyson Fury is not a big puncher, I think you're going to be seeing him be a lot more wild than he normally is, and actually let his hands go a lot more than he typically does. And I do expect Deontay Wilder to win. I wouldn't be shocked if Fury beats Deontay Wilder, just because I think he's a better talent. But I do expect Wilder to win, just because Wilder has been the more active, he's been the more fresher, and he hasn't been abusing his body the way Fury has. But again, that's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, I'm out.